Ekonene. So kuna hii very interesting footage nilibaki nimecheki na ilikuwa footage ya Murkomen. Murkomen kuna vile jana apart from press conference yake kuna time aliamua kupiga raundi akabaki ameishia like downtown. Alafu alikuwa anabonga na the traders because of course the traders had lost so much. So he was trying to use this as a political opportunity, just score some political points and tell people how protests are bad. So akafeel ni kama need kuambia ma traders hawa watu like how hizi protests ni mbaya na vile watu wanafaa kudeal na protesters, and I don't think things went the way he expected because wacha tumsikize.
Ile shida yenye inafanya hata polisi za ingine ipige wakora risasi ni kwa sababu wanashikwa, wanaenda, wanarudi, wanakuja kuchekelea polisi kuambia sasa tulifika wapi, hakuna penye tunaenda. Ni ukweli. Na tumeambia polisi mtu yoyote mwenye atakaribia police station piga yeye risasi.
Macheke at wasali kata kusikiza hii speech because kitu kama hii ukisikia on paper it sounds like a very good suggestion until you think about it and you know innocent people get caught up in these crossfires. Hawezi sema mtu yote atakaribia police station piga yeye risasi. What if ni msee iko na emergency and there's a protest na ameamua kuvisit the police station, and this will also justify a lot of police shootings. And hii story yote kama uliwatch ile episode tulifanya na Rapture ya before the protest happened, nakumbuka nikijoke that the president on Tuesday had written a love letter to the police because ukimsikiza ilikuwa hizo stories oh we will protect you, oh we love you, you are the people who stand between sisi na dini and anarchy, you are the last line of defense. And mtu akiongea hivi as a president you start seeing that he's giving them the license to kill. Kauli watch your episode specifically utanotice nilisema the president amepatia si a license to kill. I think I even tweeted that. Nilienda up nimetweet kasema the president amepatia si a license to kill. Then ukifast forward ikuje to Thursday utacheki Murkomen akibonga alisema the police committed no crime. Walifanya kazi mzuri kabisa. Alafu nasikia hiyo part ya mtu akikaribia piga yeye risasi. But wacha to go back to Tuesday.
Nobody is above the law. None of us is above the law. You cannot intimidate the police. You cannot use force against the police or insult or threaten the police. You are threatening our nation because these are our frontline defenders.
Okay, so chikio. These are our frontline defenders. So of course after wapatiwe hivyo and there is a reason why kuna mseni analijao na mimi nikisema that the police the government let the lootings happen. You see, you have to understand this is a government that right now is trying to survive politically, and for you to survive politically you have to sway public opinion. And what they're trying to do right now is to sway public opinion on protests, because these are the worst protests to happen in Kenya, and they're the worst protests to happen in Kenya. Why? Because there is no one to talk to. But any protests that happen, there's a Raila to talk to. Like for the past how many years? Maybe for the past 20 years, there's always been Raila to talk to. This time, who are you talking to? These leaderless, radarless, formless, whatever, it's there and people show up, and unless you come up with a solution that pleases all of them, then it becomes a problem. But now you see, in such a situation, the first thing that you have to do is you have to accept that there is a problem. So if you come to extrajudicial killings, unajua, like my views have always been this is something that we need to discuss, and I've been criticizing one presidential candidate sana. Nimekuwa nikimtandika, and kitu moja ile nasemaga mimi nikitandika mtu ikuage personal, inakuaga based on history and based on something. So inakau Buda amejua he has to address the elephant in the room, na Buda na bonga juu yake ni Matiang'i, and I was actually surprised that alisema kile alisema. Wacha tusikize.
Tuende mbele. Let us go and explain some of these things that have happened even before 2023, so that we can now move forward together as a country when all facts and everything has been heard and resolved. And we can deal with the unresolved matters that have not been conclusively investigated. Whether we start with Musandu, we come to Jacob Juma, we come to Kenei, we come to Rivayala and everything else. Let these things be investigated by an open.
So, hii statement ilikuwa vile marapas tunasemaga ziko na double entendres. There was so much in this one statement. And one thing, lazima nimpatie credit. Alisema, let's talk about the murders that before 2023. Because the murders that before 2023 are murders that a lot of people ignore. And people ignore because watu wanataka tu Ruto akuwe the villain peke yake. Na mimi naambiaga watu, Ruto is a villain, yes. But we have to understand that this problem of extrajudicial killings has been happening since siku za Kenyatta. Kenyatta, the 1969 Kisumu massacre. Moi, the Wagala massacre, plus protesters. Hata Kenyatta ni plus protesters, plus, you understand, Tom Mboya, although hizo ni political. So, wacha tuangalie tu the massacres. Kisumu massacre, the Wagala massacre. Kibaki, 2007, alijaza city mortuary, that's a fact. Alafu sasa now it comes to 2017, ikikam to Ubda, anaitwa Uhuru. But Uhuru, alikuwa ameacha Matiang'i at the helm. And people used to say that Matiang'i, in any Uhuru lets you work. So that's the reason why we have to talk about Matiang'i, ikikam to his story. But sasa, the reason why nasema hii message ilikuwa, so nampatia credit for saying that we need to delve on this. Na Ubda, nikiwa ipata chance ya kukaa chini na yeye, I'll ask him that. I'll ask him about hizo murders za Rivayala, ndamuuliza juu ya the Kianjokoma brothers, ndamuuliza juu ya Nakuru 4, because this is not a popularity contest. We have to understand that if we want to move away from extrajudicial killings, we have to move away from them. We can't sweep them under the rug. And this is why alisema tuna need to go back to pre-2023. So yeye mwenyewe amejiweka kwa noma, which I respect. But sasa hii statement, reason nafanya na I find ikiwa interesting ni alimention watu wawili, Jacob Juma na Kenei. Wacha tusikize. Hii nini? Hii statement ilikuwa, it was a powerful one because this is the first time that I've seen this guy go directly at Ruto. Because when it comes to stories of Jacob Juma, there's that infamous interview ile nani Ruto alifanyaga na Hussein Mohamed. He's now spokesperson. Na Hussein Mohamed akamuuliza juu story ya Jacob Juma na cheki. So there's always been that cloud hanging over Ruto's head he come to stories of Jacob Juma. So to see this guy have the guts of calling him out. And then there's another murder we need to know about, Msando's murder was about the 2017 elections. Don't forget, the 2017 elections ended up being nullified. And after they were nullified, kwa zile story, we will revisit. It's literally the government that killed Msando. Na kuna msotoko gavaita uwaje Msando, gavai kumuua. We cheki vile mamadaras wanani wameshikwa haraka. Mamadaras wa Ubda naitwa nani? Were. When the government wants to solve a crime, it's pap. Msando akitaka kusolve ni pap. The reason why it was not solved is because it's the government that was involved. The government was complicit. So it was interesting to see this guy say this. Wacha tuanze tena.
Tuende mbele. Let us go and explain some of these things that have happened even before 2023, so that we can now move forward together as a country when all facts and everything has been heard and resolved. And we can deal with the unresolved matters that have not been conclusively investigated. Whether we start with Musandu, we come to Jacob Juma, we come to Kenei, we come to Rivayala and everything else. Let these things be investigated by an open public inquest. So that this is sort of Tuende Mbele, we explain and face the public on these issues. Because some...
Yeah, so hiyo inaweza kuwa poa kabisa. Because so za Rivayala nizataka kujua. Because Ubda, one of the problems I used to have with him is, first of all, court orders. Yes, that's a question I'd also ask him about. Like, if he was not following court orders under Uhuru, what would he do as a president? Would he still follow the court orders? Because kitu moja funny, I know Kenya so avoid tribe, but I feel like it's written in the stars, Joe. It's written in the stars that the best candidate right now, tukifikiria juu ya elections, ni Kisses. Kisses have given us some very interesting characters. They've given us Matiang'i, who I don't agree with, but they've given us Maraga and Morara, who, to me, any of those two would make a great president. I hate the fact that watu wameanza kubash Morara. there are few things he does not know how to do, so I understand why maybe kwenyu haizi kwa likable. There's that number one. Alafu pia shida ya internet has made everyone become a leader, so it's very hard to rise up as a leader in a time where everyone thinks they are the leader. So that's why nani ameenda hapa akibashiwa hivyo. So yes, so kuna hiyo nini. But sasa ikikuja tu nini, ikikam tu stories za Kenei inasemekanaga alikuwa ni story na Ruto. Ikikuja tu Jacob Juma ni story na Ruto. Like Kenei ukibaki ume search, what comes is Sergeant Kipyegon Kenei, an officer attached to Deputy President's office, was found dead in his Nairobi apartment on Feb 2020. He was discovered with a gunshot wound to the head, and the scene was initially treated as a possible suicide, but later investigation suggested foul play. Kenei's death occurred amidst investigations into a fake 40 billion arms deal that involved former sports CS Rashid, and Kenei was scheduled to record a statement with nini. So kwa nakumbuka ilikuwa ile time akina Echesa walikuwa wanaenda kudo meetings kwa ofisi ya Ruto, na ilikuwa hizi meetings za hizi fake arms deal. So that's why Ruto's name inakuaga hapo. That's why nilifilu buda aikona cojones go after Ruto, cause you don't go at the master man, you don't go at the king and miss. So that was bold. And wacha tuendelee kusikiza statement.
Some of these issues are raised, and we keep this merry-go-round, where we are always telling stories only when they are convenient and so on to us. It should come to an end, because a country of our size, our age, should never go through this kind of thing. So I ask my colleagues that now let us be true to the course that we are following. Let these things be dealt with publicly, and I pray we should never have a recurrence of this. So we should.
So do I still think this excuses him from it? No, but it would be good to get an explanation from him and see if he'd throw Uhuru under the bus, considering that Uhuru is the one who's going to most probably finance his campaign. So, but hizi vitu tunanid kuzidiscuss. We can't just keep pushing extrajudicial killings under the rug. And according to Mimi, one of the reasons why I am anti this guy, of course, it's because of that. And if you are to ask me, I'm still bado na konda tu na nani na ubuda anaitwa Maraga. I feel like Maraga would make such a great president. But now it gets interesting because shida hii gava kitu moja ile nilikuwa nimesema hapo before is the government does not want to admit that there's a problem. So they do not want to face the fact that these protests have not come out of thin air. So they are always looking for someone to blame. And saa hizi the easiest target ni Wamunyoro. So ilikuwa very funny kusikia ubuda anaitwa Junet akisema that hao wenyewe hawajai try ku overthrow gava. Because what I'd want to know, if protests are overthrowing a government, if you are to define protest as overthrowing a government, then is there any party that's more guilty than ODM? 2007, Kibaki must go. 2013, Uhuru must go. 2017, Uhuru must go. 2022, Ruto must go. What the hell are you talking about? Alafu nachikigia mafala, nikawa assume like we don't, what is it called? We don't remember. And if we remember, we are stupid, because this is simple. Did you actually want Uhuru to go and Akina Nani to go, or you're just looking for a deal? Because now it seems you're just looking for a deal. You never wanted power. Because this is what you're telling us. Wacha tusikize ubuda, uni Junet.
If you want to remove William Ruto as the President of the Republic of Kenya, wait for 2027. There will be an election on the 10th of August 2027. What happened yesterday was an attempt to take over power unconstitutionally, to do a coup on the governance, on the government of the Republic of Kenya. We lost an election as ODM. We disputed the election. We went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court told us you have lost the election. We abided by the decision of the Supreme Court. We never attempted to overthrow the government. What the hell can this Rigathi Gachagua do that he can take power through unorthodox means? Gachagua must be arrested as early as tomorrow.
So, ODM and Ruto, it's something you need to know. These protests were not sponsored by Gachagua. they were not sponsored by Wamunyoro. This protest was sponsored by the people of Kenya. People are angry. And the goons were sponsored by the government. That's why literally there was footage. Ile footage, kuna clip ingine wasana kwa amecheki the video tulirelease kibonga jua Murkomen na Kindiki. The footage ilikuwa ni ya BBC footage where we saw the police letting someone who's unarmed be beaten up by goons, and the police drove away. That means the police were complicit in that. For you to turn around and put all this on Wamunyoro and to try and play with this tribal narrative that it's only Kikuyus who are disgruntled with this government is to be dishonest. And this is what makes you lose. At some point, you have to realize you have a problem. Nacheki. And this reminds me of kuna group tukona skizaga sana. Kunaitwa Tribe Called Quest. Kwa unapenda hip hop na kumbuka hiyo group. Na kulikuwa gana boy anaitwa Fife. And Fife had diabetes. And shida yake ni like here alikuwa ameaccept yuko nayo, akatry to get treatment, but in the process he used to say he can't stay away from sugar, and that's what ended up killing him. Why? Because he had a problem but hakuwa ready kudeal na hiyo shida alikuwa nayo. The same thing na igava. You have a problem, you are unpopular, you can thump your chest, you can blame Wamunyoro, but deep down ile time mko kitandani Mr. Murkomen na Mrs. Murkomen, Mr. Junet na Mrs. Junet, mkiwa kitandani mnajuaga vizuri kabisa. This is not some random Wamunyoro guy. It's just that things have fallen into place. Mulikosana kama wezi, alafu around the same time mekosana kama wezi, pia watu wakakuwa wamechoka na hii serikali. So it's just a coincidence. Sometimes coincidences happen, but to claim that no one is angry at this government, it's just one community, it's just one person trying to overthrow the government. No. This has nothing to do, like even yesterday, let's say on Wednesday, Wasangi occupy State House. How was Wamunyoro supposed to benefit from that? He's not the deputy president. It's Kindiki. So if you have to suspect someone, angaliani Kindiki. Mini noma, si noma. Okay, whatever, man. That's the nini. So the more mna deny these stories, and the more you keep coming up with these bullshit excuses that it's this person, it's this person. No, this government is unpopular. It's a very simple thing that you're unpopular, and there is nothing that can change this unpopularity unless, I don't know. But I think the worst thing about politics is about emotions, and people's emotions are caught up in these things. People don't like the president, and I don't think that is going to change anytime soon. Alafu talking of nini hizo protests, another funny thing ile niliona ilikuwa kulikuwa na hii footage ya fala fulani ameiba TV ya Vitron, alafu anatembea nayo. So na cheki nikao mwizi anaibiwa. That was actually funny because aba fala niko naiba, of course wamfanya the protest now. It can be argued, people can argue against the protest and say that these protests were not good in one way or another. And but kabla ni toke kwa hii story, kuna hii nini story moja lazima nibonge. Metoka kubonga juu ya vile cases that the government wants to solve them super fast. One of the most weird headlines nilicheki jana ilikuwa kwa Citizen Digital. Ilikuwa businessman Philip Aroko freed to serve as a state witness in Kasipul MP Charles Were's murder. And I'm there like, okay, so this guy, he's an aspirant wa Kasipul. Alafu umse Were alidedishwa Nairobi. They ended up, I think, arresting the driver and the bodyguard, and then I think the driver has stand as a witness. So I think maybe the bodyguard ni anaachwa inoma. Alafu sasa now this other guy is also a witness. Like, what's going on here? All these witnesses, like, who then benefits? Does the bodyguard benefit? Like, it makes no sense to me. But easy cases za Kenya zinakuwaga sijui aje. But one thing that this shows is when these people want to solve a case, they solve it. This case happened less than how long ago? Less than like 2 months or 3 months ago. And they've already moved on, gotten state witnesses and all that. Msando happened in 2017. There is no single state witness. Najua. And here Msando ilikuwa sad because there's like a girl who was caught up hapo. like akadedi hivyo, and ilikuwa sad, and it's never been solved. How many years later? A lot of murders that happened under the Uhuru regime were never solved, and you know that if the government wanted to solve them, it would solve them. So I think this is the reason why nakumbuka ubuda anaitwa Ruto alikuwa na thump chest when he was still a very popular guy. He used to thump his chest and say no extrajudicial killings would happen under his government, because the fact is under Uhuru a lot of extrajudicial shit happened. The only thing that saved Uhuru was during that time Kenya was very tribal, so it meant that people could not see that, and then by the time Uhuru aliamua kuingiza Raila pale, ikakuwa still, I think even the tribalism still played a role in Raila not going through, because he'd been a villain for so long, so there's no way people are going to change their minds on him. They'd been told this is a demon, this is a mganga, mchawi, whatever, so hakuna vile wange switch opinion now. But that tribal divide is what saved Uhuru from accountability kikam to murders and political murders and protesters being murdered, and that's now something that najua kila kitu kina mwanzo kina mwisho. So Ruto alikuwa anafikiria atakuwa saved na hiyo. No, he's not been saved. Right now everyone yuko pale na kila mtu yuko chonjo, so tabaki tumecheki vile story itaenda. But yes, this Matiang'i has said one thing that I agree with, so looking forward to kuona hii story. And yeah, sijui kama Itumbi atatukumbusha juu ya Ruaraka land scams, because that's the one thing they have on this guy, because now he's come out and he's talking about Kenei, and he's talking about Jacob Juma and all these two. Tai, the one and only WSR, he's the main suspect. Has he been summoned? Abagi ameenda ametoa statement. Kana president be summoned? Okay, good morning. Iko nene.